So in the last episode, I know I said that we would create the Stripe form, but first of all, I want us to complete something about our dates. So we show the disabled date if we have a booking, and then we will also do something about our update when creating a payment intent. What I mean is that whenever we try to create a new booking, if we haven't paid the last one yet, what we'll do, we'll just update the existing one instead of having multiple payment intents. Okay. For example, right now, if we try to create a new booking, what would happen is that this API route will be called, and we will find that we have a payment intent. We will fetch the booking using that payment intent, and then right here we'll find a booking and a payment intent, and then right here nothing will happen, and that will actually throw an error because nothing happens. Okay. Here we will get a current intent, so I'll say const current underscore intent will be equal to we await, and we'll use stripe right here dot payment intents dot retrieve a payment intent by passing the payment intent ID. So this we get it from the front end, from the local storage if we happen to refresh a page. And here we'll say if we have a current intent, we'll go ahead and we update the payment intent, and also we update the booking. So right here we will say const updated underscore intent will be equal to we await again here, and we'll make use of stripe, and we'll say dot payment intents dot update. We invoke this and we will update a payment intent with the given ID, so payment intent ID. And right here what we update is the amount, so we'll say booking dot total price, and then we multiply that by 100, again Stripe store price in cents. Therefore that will update our payment intent. Then after this we update the booking. So still in here inside, if we have these, we will perform an update of our booking in our own database. So right here say const response will be equal to we will await Prisma, and make sure to spell this one correctly, and we say dot booking dot update. Okay, and we invoke that and we pass some values here. Here we will specify what we want to update. We want to update a booking with the payment intent ID of a payment intent ID, and also a booking with a user ID of user.id. Okay, then we pass the booking data right here. So we'll say data is our booking data, just like that. So that will update our booking at our own database. And then right here, we can perform a check. Let's confirm that we have this response. And if we don't have the response, we'll actually throw an error. So here we will return a next response dot error, and we invoke that. And then right here we'll go ahead and we return the updated payment intent to the client. So right here we'll have next response dot JSON, and we invoke that. We pass an object. We say that the payment intent. Okay, right here we were returning payment intent, so we'll say the payment intent again right here will be the updated payment intent. Okay, so this is what we have. So we update both the payment intent amount and the booking data in our own database, and we return the payment intent. So this prevents us from having a lot of unpaid payment intents right here. Okay, you can see all these are incomplete. So we will be updating a payment intent instead of creating a new one, and also we'll be updating a booking in our database instead of creating a new one. Okay, so now if we try to perform a booking, how will we know that it's working? Okay, let's check the payment intent here. These have a capital H here, SRH. So we check the ID, and let's see the ID that we have right here for the payment intent. SRH. Okay, so we will check the second one, if it will change the breakfast here to true. So we come right here, we perform a booking, which I'll do, and then we include breakfast, so breakfast should be true, and we book the room. So this will update the existing payment intent and booking data, and we should not actually create a new one but update the existing one. So it did this, but now we don't know if it created a new one or updated the existing one. So we can only confirm right here if this was marked as true, and yeah, this was marked as true. And for the payment intents, I think this should update the price. So they are 1, 2, 3, 4. We shouldn't have the fifth one, but it should update this one. So let's refresh, and hopefully it works. I don't know if there is an issue, and they are still for 1, 2, 3, 4, and it updated this price. So it's working. Okay, it's working. This is 1360, and what were we trying to book for? Maybe we check here, total price 1360. Very nice. So it's working very well, and that is what I wanted us to do, so that we don't keep on creating many bookings that are not paid for. If we happen to like go and make some changes, instead of creating a new one, we update the existing one. And now we can also disable some dates. Since we have some bookings, we disable the dates that have already been booked, and later on will make it much better to only disable if they are actually paid for. So for now, we can work with what we have. We pass the booking to the room card right here. Here we had said that we'll receive bookings, which is optional, and also we were able to initialize a default one here, but we didn't actually pass booking to this particular component. So at our hotel details, so app hotel details, here is where we have a page. So in this page, we should be able to get the hotel and also the bookings for this hotel, or we can get all the bookings. So right here, we'll say const bookings, and we'll set this to be equal to await, and here we will get the bookings. But this bookings function is not yet defined, so we can come to actions, we add a new file, and I'll say get bookings.ts, and right here is where we'll do everything. Import Prisma DB, we will export the function const get bookings to be equal to an async function, which will actually be an arrow function like this. Okay, this is wrong. Async like that. And in here is where we can have a try and catch block. We get the error. The error here will be of type any, and here throw new error, and we invoke here and we pass the error that we get. Now right here we will be able to get the bookings. So right here I'll say const yesterday. So I'll get a date from yesterday. I don't want to fetch all the bookings. I want to fetch only future bookings. Okay, so if the bookings are in the past, the date will already be blocked. So I want only the future ones. So I'll say yesterday is equals to a new date like that, and we know this is today. So here we update the value of yesterday. We'll say yesterday dot set date. We invoke it and we'll say yesterday dot get date like that. We invoke that and we minus 1. Okay, so that will minus 1 day, and we get now the date for yesterday. And now right here we can get the booking. I'll say const bookings will be equal to, we will await, and we'll say prisma db dot booking and dot find many, so it'll get many bookings, and we invoke that. We do it like that, and we'll say here where we say end date is greater than yesterday. Another thing that I feel like we can do so that we don't fetch all the bookings in the entire application is maybe fetch by ID. Okay, we fetch the bookings by hotel ID. I had not prepared for that part, but I feel like we should be doing that. So since we are getting the hotel here, I feel like we could pass the hotel ID right here. So maybe we can perform the fetch after we check if we have a hotel or not. So hotel dot ID, and we will receive that ID in our get bookings, and right here. So we will receive hotel ID of type string. We'll use that hotel ID to filter further our data. So we'll say hotel ID is hotel ID. Since key and value pair are the same here, we can just omit one. So it will be hotel ID like that. Once we fetch it like this, we'll come down here and we will return the bookings like that. So we go ahead and we save. So I come right here, and here we import this particular function just like that. And that should get us the bookings for that particular hotel. And we can now pass this down our component. So right here I'll say bookings, and we'll set this to be equal to bookings. I save that. Now we go to hotel details client and see what we included there. Component, hotel details client, and here we passed the room card, room key, and bookings like that. Okay, we received the bookings of type bookings, so we can close that. We go to room card, and in the room card now we will be able to receive the bookings like that, and we'll have a default of an empty array if we don't have the bookings. Okay, very nice. I think that is cool. So the next step now is to create an array of disabled dates. So maybe after this use effect right here, I'll just say const disabled dates to be equal to react.useMemo. We memorize this so that it's more optimal. And right here we will pass an arrow function, and the use memo usually have some dependency array right here, and we'll say when bookings changes, that is when we want to recalculate our disabled dates. So we have react.useMemo, but we can also just say use memo, and we import this use memo from React. So this is much better like that. And now right here we'll say let dates be equal to an empty array, and we can add the type for this one to be an array of date. We will filter down the bookings for this specific room. Okay, remember the bookings here are for the entire hotel, but the hotel have many rooms, so we filter down only the bookings for this specific room. So I'll say here const room bookings to be equal to, we get all the bookings for this particular hotel, and then we will call the dot filter array method, and we invoke that. We get a booking at a time, and we will return the bookings which will satisfy this booking dot room ID to be equal to our room dot ID. And later on, when we complete payment and so on, we will add right here and booking dot payment status. But if we include this, we will not see if it's working or not. So for now, since we don't have any booking that is paid, we omit it. So here I change to room bookings nicely like that. Okay, now right here we get the dates from this room booking. So I'll say room bookings dot for each, so we map through each of them. Here we will get a booking at a time, and we will pass an arrow function, and in here so we will get the different dates range, and then we will get all the dates in between the range. So what I mean with getting the date range, so if we happen to book from date 8 to 12, we will get the dates that are in between that range. So we'll get date 8, date 9, date 10, date 11, date 12. and we'll add that into our array of dates, and we will block all those dates from being booked. Okay, so right here I'll say const range will be equal to, we have a method from date and fs, and we'll say each day of interval. So right here we pass the interval, and that is the start, and here we'll say new date, and we invoke this, we pass booking dot start date. The reason I say new date is because these might come in as a string, and the type here needs to be in form of a date, so I make sure it's a date by saying new date. Then it expects a second parameter of end, and we'll say new date. Here we pass the booking dot end date, and that way this method will give us all the dates between the start date and the end date, and we'll get those dates right here. So we'll say dates will be equal to, we set it to an array, and we spread the range. But now once we do this, we will get that range, yes, but you can see this is a for each, so it will iterate through the second booking, it will check the range, then it will replace the existing dates with this one. So at the end of the day, we'll only have the range for one booking and not all. So what we can do to prevent that right here is to spread the existing dates. So I can say dates and then comma, and then we add our range. So that will include all the booking ranges. So this is not datas but dates, and this date is the same as this, which will now be updated with each iteration. And then right here I'll just return the dates. So we go ahead and we return those dates that we have in our bookings, and I go ahead and save. Now right here I'll get all the disabled dates. So I'll come to where we have our date picker, and we will pass those dates right here. So I'll say disabled dates to be equal to our disabled dates. Okay, so we go to this component. Actually, I think if you click Control and then you click on it, it should open that component. But you just need to go to that component, and we specify a type in this component. Right here, we will say that we will be receiving disabled dates, and we'll make it to be a type of date, and that will be an array. We come right here and we will receive that as a plop. So I don't know why this is still complaining. Did we miss something? Type void is not assignable to type date. Okay, we included the return here, and we shall do it outside our for each loop. So we include it outside the for each loop, like that. So we save, and the error is gone. So we pass our disabled dates to date range picker, we receive it as plops, and right here we will be able to have a plop called disabled, like that, and we'll set that to be our disabled dates, like that. So I go ahead and I save, and I happen to refresh. If I click on this date picker, you'll notice that some dates have been disabled from 26 to 30, because that means that we have a booking already booked. And for this one, we also have some disabled dates from 15 to 19. So yeah, very nice. So that's what we want. But later on, we will be performing the payment, and we will only reserve those dates if the person have actually completed the payment. And if they have not completed the payment, then we will not reserve the dates. But that is a good progress. That is how you can block some dates. Very nice.